So, you got your brand new Shunguang and you can now clear everything in the game with ease. And yes, I do mean everything. But now you seek to make your Shunguang better and are probably tempted to pull for those juicy mindscapes. So I'm here to help you choose which mindscape you should get. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a theory crafter and I'm not extremely good at Zenless. This is just my opinion as an average player. All these tests were done with her signature engine equipped against the troll in Deadly Assault with this buff. The objective being to get as high of a score as I could. As for teams, I used an M6 Nicole with her W engine and an M0W0 Zhao. Now, let's get into the results. Everyone already knows that Shunguang is an extremely powerful unit without mindscapes. But if you've ever played her, you know that her biggest issue is just the enormous downtime before getting into her first enhanced state that really slows down your momentum. In my attempts against the troll, I could barely get a 6000 score before its miasma shield, really minimizing the amount of score I could get. After I was able to activate the initial enhanced state though, I was able to dish out a decent amount of damage, getting an average score of 26,000. All in all, Shunguang at her base level, excluding the downtime before the initial enhanced state, is an extremely good unit and more than enough for most content, so M0 is a solid 8 out of 10. Now, normally when you hear M1, you'd probably think, oh, it's just a stepping stone for M2, which is almost always the best mindscape, of course excluding M6. But what if I told you Shunguang's M1 is one of, if not her best mindscapes by far? Now, you might be thinking, what effect could this M1 give you that would be so insane that you'd call it one of Shunguang's best mindscapes? Well, it does one simple thing. It makes it so you start the fight with 6 stacks for your enhanced state, which means you can instantly enter your enhanced state, removing the downtime I mentioned before at M0. Oh, also, it gives you a 10% damage boost and lets you ignore 20% of a target's defense, but that isn't as important. And I'm not kidding, this single mindscape boosted my score all the way up to 39,000. Yes, being able to start a fight with your enhanced state is amazing, making it one of our best mindscapes like I said. So I would personally say it could be more worth it to try to get this mindscape before her engine just for the quality of life. So for these reasons, I give this mindscape a 10 out of 10. Moving on to M2, this mindscape gives you a culmination stack each time you consume a Qing Ming Sword Force, being the stacks you use in your enhanced state to perform certain attacks. Not to be confused with the culmination stacks we are talking about. The culmination stacks make the attack Enlightened Mind, Soaring Light, consume culmination stacks instead of your Qing Ming Sword Force stacks. Also with M2, this attack now has a 40% defense ignore effect. Besides this effect, it also allows you to stack 9 stacks of culmination and 6 stacks of better. Better stacks being extra stacks you can acquire after you already have the 6 stacks of Qing Ming Sword Force needed to activate your enhanced state, and due to, for example, Zhao's Ethervel activating, the original Qing Ming Sword Force stacks you would have gotten get transformed into better stacks. This entire M2 basically lets you extend your enhanced state rotation, having you hold the E button for longer at the end of the rotation. Besides it giving me a more consistent score, it only gave me minimal improvements to the score I had at M1. Decent improvement, but not as good as M1. I think it's a 9 out of 10. Again, with the unexpected mindscapes, M3 actually gave me a bigger boost than the M2. It made my score jump up to 44k, which for an M3 is actually pretty nice, but this is a 9 out of 10. M4 felt more like a quality of life upgrade, similar to M1, having Shunguang start an extra 1000 decibels and making her damage buff bigger in her enhanced state. The problem I found with Shunguang even at this mindscape is that even though you get 2 enhanced states one after the other, thanks to being able to get the ult early, which is amazing, at some point you'll still hit that dreaded downtime. Of course, thanks to M1 and M4, it is pushed back quite a lot, so for most content, you won't even reach this downtime. But for Deadly Assault, you will 100% reach it at some point, and sadly, you will have to waste about 30 seconds or so getting back into the enhanced state. My score improved by a bit, the final score being 45k. Another really nice surprise, having a normally forgotten about mindscape be good, 9.5 out of 10. M5 was pretty decent as well. Similar to M3, gave some nice score boosts, but nothing too interesting to talk about. 9 out of 10. Now we have finally reached the moment you've been waiting for, M6. This mindscape gives you a new stack called Lantern Wish. You start the battle with 2 stacks and get 1 whenever you enter the enhanced state. Whenever you have 3 of these stacks, your Enlightened Mind Return to Dust, which is the normal finisher move you do when you're about to exit the enhanced state without having entered it via ult, turns into Ultimate Cleaving Heavens, after which your Lantern Wish stacks go back to 0. This Ultimate Cleaving Heavens attack, as you could have guessed, is the finisher that happens whenever you exit the enhanced state after using your ultimate to enter it. Besides this, it also makes both your Enlightened Mind Return to Dust and Ultimate Living Heavens do an extra 1500 of Shunguang's attack as damage. An amazing mindscape that, as you could have guessed, did not increase my score by that much for some reason. I'm sure it makes every other game mode besides this one even faster to clear, but here, it did not increase my score by that much. Now, does this mean this is a bad mindscape? 100% not. It will give you a massive damage boost, and I could easily get around 80 million damage per ult with this mindscape. If anyone that knows more about trainers can tell me why this mindscape didn't give me a bigger score increase, I'd love to know. Either way, just because this mindscape is really good and seeing the big damage number increase is really fun, I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10. Now that we've reached the conclusion, I think each mindscape has amazing value, and I'm really happy to see character have all of their mindscapes be powerful instead of just having the usual M2 and M6 be insane and the other ones be mediocre at best. But if I had to rank them from lowest to highest full value, it would probably be something like this: M5, M3, M4, M2, M6, and lastly M1. Yes, I put M1 above M6 just because of the amazing improvement it gave me in my final score. Again, at the end of the day, Shunguang is by far one of my favorite characters, and getting any of her mindscapes is a good investment. Again, just because I didn't see that big of an improvement with M2 or M6 doesn't mean they aren't good. It could be a variety of things ranging from the boss, my team, or simply my gameplay. I did try one more team at M6, that being Yixinguang with Astra and Zhao, thanks to the fact that Astra's buffs last longer than Nicole's debuffs, which don't last quite long enough for the entire duration of Yixinguang's enhanced state, and I got a pretty decent score, leaving the trial with only 2 bars of HP left. Again, like I said, if I got anything wrong, please comment down below. I am not the most proficient at testing characters yet, so if anyone has any suggestions, I'd be happy to listen. But either way, thank you guys for watching, I'll see you in the next video, please comment, like and subscribe, bye bye.